What up, crowd? We get, I don't know what that means. Mr. Dave, how we doing, buddy? Let's install this update. Where did that just go? Install and relaunch. Suffering the heat of Barcelona for 2 more weeks and then leaving to Italy. Nice. Hell yeah. Why can't I move this? Oh, God. That's so funny. Anders, I don't know if you're in chat right now, but that just made my day. I'm guessing it means how are you today, Kraut. I'm hoping that's what it means, and I'm not an idiot. I mean, I'm still an idiot, probably, but now I assume you're saying right to me saying that I'm still an idiot, so just so we're all on the same page here. All right, let me catch up on some stuff here. I didn't stream yesterday because we had house cleaners come, and for some reason, my lovely fiance, who can do no wrong, scheduled them to be here at between 8 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Yes, this is now a very different kind of stream. All right, let's quit from this and we'll do a z dot and then we'll do a dot update. Oh, what do we got here? Hey, how's I don't know what VNC and no VNC is. And Anders, I don't know if you heard me, but that's my favorite website I've ever seen on registered on for sale. it's, it's such a ridiculous domain name. Uh, Dude, this is so much better than fighting Knicks. You guys remember when I used to fight Knicks? And now I just do brew update and everything works. Now you just fight me. It's true. Bro, I was fighting for my life last night, actually all day yesterday. If you go to GitHub, Anders, and you look at my commit history yesterday, I opened probably 6 or 7 PRs trying to fix that bug that is causing domains to get out of sync. I think I figured it out finally at like almost midnight last night, but it's driving me up a wall. And I don't understand why it randomly started failing. I mean, I do understand. Something changed with an upstream system that suddenly has caused it to be a little bit less reliable. But, you know, what can we do there? It's probably space radiation. I've never even heard of Nix Vafi. All right. What was the last thing we asked about here? I am still using Claude Code. I'm not using Claude Code to write my code for this because I want to do it myself. But I'm like bouncing ideas back and forth with Claude Code. I'm using Claude Class. Afternoon. All right, did we end up doing all of these things here? Is UN 32? Where was it saying we could have overruns at? Do we really need to? Okay. Add tests that cause failures for these edge cases. Basically, you have like a bucket of usage on the $100 plan that resets every 5 hours. Yeah, you just have a bucket of usage. I've only hit the usage limit once, and it's because I did something where I made Claude spawn like about 20 sub agent Claudes, and that was after I was using it for like 4 hours, and I hit my token limit then, but that's it. I also expense it through work, so. No. Hold on here. Is this thing stupid? This thing might be stupid. Both Kraut. For sure, both. Fails when our data length doesn't match our data RD length. Why did that fail? Offset is out of view. All right, so we have 3 failing tests to fix. I saw it. I need to. We'll watch this in a minute. That's weird. I'm gonna call my dad quick. My dad doesn't normally text me to call him, so I'm gonna go make sure everything's okay, and hopefully this is just about he probably went out hunting this morning, so maybe he got something hunting. I'm just gonna go make sure everything's good here. I'll be right back, chat. right, chap, we're all good. It turned out that my dad was excited because there was a giant ass bear behind our camp this morning. Let me get a picture here. So our camp is the red one in the background. This is from the neighbor's view. So this is our cabin up in the mountains of Pennsylvania. There's this giant ass bear. And that's what he had me call about. He actually, he mounted it and rode it around the hills and mountains. She thick. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that ass. What's odd? I've never done anything odd on stream in my life, Kraut. I don't appreciate the insinuations here. Why would you mount a bear? Thick. Gotta ride it. I like when we look at bears on your stream. I probably... Let me hodl. I might have some... If I can find... If I still have an old Google Photos album. Are we blurred? Yeah, we're blurred. My old hunting album. I've shot a bear hunting before. Oh, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I have a bear tattoo on my leg. That's on my thigh. Where are my hunting albums? We killed like a 650. Oh, here's some more bears. Yeah, I can unblur here. So we have bear. This is in front of our camp across the street. The other cabin across the street has like a little feeder they'll put out. That one's being tracked by the state, the Game and Wildlife Commission. You can see it has a collar on it. So they collect data on it. That's my fridge. That's Winnie as a puppy and a babushka. What a nerd. Look at this dog. I think she acts ridiculous here. I remember this. She didn't know I was watching her right now. She'll like wag her tail to get my attention. So I'm like looking at my computer screen, but I have my phone to the side. She's so dumb. This is what Anders does all day to try to get my attention when I'm not fixing domains issues. So funny. Hold on. I definitely have more pictures. Hold on. Oh, dude, this was a good year. Hold on. Trigger warning, dead animal. That's by far the freaking biggest buck I've ever killed. That's my dad right there. And actually, this is where that picture of the bear we first saw was taken. It was taken from over here, looking this way. I'm actually not that young in that picture. I am 26 in that picture. All right, hold on. There's definitely more bear pictures in here. Where are they? There's some good ones in here. Oh, do I not have it? I have to have it. Did I lose that album? Chat, I must have lost that album. Oh, here's Winnie as an actual puppy though. Look at her. This is before I even got to take her home. Oh my god, what a nugget. Wild how that little animal changed my life. Anyways, there is one video I think I can find. Key bear. Yeah, right here. This is the chonk. So these are all the guys I hunt with. Also, mild content, not mild, definitely content warning. Dead animal. So if anyone doesn't want to see a dead bear, please look away. But this bear was like probably 600 pounds, and we had to carry it up a mountain, down the other side, and we're like, maybe we can just roll it so we don't have to carry it. And it turned out it worked insanely well. Cameraman did not pass the assignment. Fucking Dreaky. Fucking Skizzy. Oh god. This is some straight shit if I've ever seen it. Listen, I'm sorry. I would hunt if I wasn't straight. Yeah. We eat everything we hunt. Population control, food. How many worms did the bear have? Also read your question. Which question? I gotta scroll up. I like there's like 3 guys I'm into that are bears. Do you want to show those as well? I knew that's what you meant earlier, Anders. type bear in search. That would have been smart. But I'm glad I found the pictures of Winnie. This is why men need, like, okay, I can't grow a beard. The facial hair I have on my chin right now is literally, this is like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I can't grow a beard. It just doesn't happen. And this is driving me crazy. I need to shave today. Put on the 18 plus. Oh, yeah, I probably should have. How did it change your life? I got Winnie when I was 23, and it was like the first I had to take care of something that wasn't myself, and it was a huge, like, taking care of her was a huge lifestyle change. And then, like, I got Winnie with my ex-wife, but I kept Winnie when we separated, and having Winnie to go through that with made everything a lot easier. Did you not know I was divorced, Anders? I was yeah, dude, I I dated my ex-wife from the time I was a sophomore in college. We were together for 8 years, and then less than a year after we got married, she had an affair, and I found out, and we separated and divorced. Yeah, I got divorced at 20. My divorce went through in 2020. I got married in 2018, something like that. And we had dated for 6 or 7 years before we got married. Yeah, dude, that was a whole thing. I got interviewed by the New York Times about my divorce and therapy. How did I meet Justine? I met Justine during COVID. I had, all right, let's backtrack. So I was working at the Department of Defense and like all the three-letter spy agencies, living in the DC, Maryland metro area. And part of the reason I left the government and defense contracting in the NSA is because once I found out that my ex-wife was having an affair, I started going to therapy like the same week. And around the same time, my security clearance was coming up for renewal within like a year. And my security officer was like, there's a pretty good chance your security clearance won't renew because you're seeking mental health treatment, which is like, that's a whole fucked up thing. And I was also getting a little burnt out on the particular contract I was working on because, like, actually, what I was working on at the time is very relevant to what's in the news today. And we were doing pretty important stuff on a pretty important contract, but Lockheed Martin was the prime, or not Lockheed Martin, Booz Allen Hamilton was the prime on the contract, and they were just like mismanaging it because like there was a bunch of project managers playing office politics trying to boost their career inside Booz Allen, and they were preventing my team from getting compute resources that we needed. And it was just like a whole annoying bureaucratic thing. And then coupled with the fact that I was at risk of losing my job and my security clearance because I was going to therapy because my ex-wife had an affair, I ended up leaving the government and working at a consulting shop called Formidable, which like back in the 2016 to 2020 era was like a really big name in JavaScript and open source. So I started working remote from Maryland for Formidable, who was based out of Seattle and who had also had offices in Denver. And So I'm living in DC metro area. I don't love living there. It's very expensive. One of the VPs at Formidable wants me to move to Denver. So I start looking at moving to Denver because I was like, I have no reason to stay here. Like at this point, I had separated from my ex, and I was like, okay, let's go to Denver. Like that sounds awesome. So I go out there a couple times. I find a house to rent in Berkeley, in right outside Denver. I sign a lease. I signed the lease in the last week of February of 2020. 2 weeks later, the landlord backed out of the lease because COVID hit and his long term tenants decided not to move away. So he backed out of the lease, which I'm sure I could have fought like on a legal level, but like the world was shutting down. Like, what am I going to do? So I sat tight in Maryland for a couple more years, just working remote. And I started revisiting like moving again once things started to go back to normal. And I was looking at either going back to Denver, going to Austin, Texas, or going to Raleigh or Charlotte, North Carolina. I basically wanted to go somewhere that had a lower cost of living, but had decent tech jobs if I lost my remote job. So I started looking at Denver again, and I realized that like the cost of living is like not that different than Maryland and Northern Virginia and DC. So I'm like, and at this point I had left Formidable, so it's not like I was going to work at the Formidable office downtown. So I was like, okay, maybe Denver doesn't make the most sense. So I'm considering Austin, and I'm considering Charlotte and Raleigh, and I'm planning to visit all these places. And my sister was like, hey, one of my sorority sisters lives in Raleigh. If you have any questions, I'm sure she'd be willing to answer them. So I hit up my sister's sorority sister, who was Justine, and she was living down in Raleigh, and the rest is kind of history.
Speaks the gospel of the camel. I speak the gospel of the dunes. The sand is in my veins.
New York Times.
Come ride a camel with
if you
me
search my name,
today.
well, affairs suck because it's a betrayal of trust, of course. But for me, it's such a wild concept to be monogamous in general. That's fair if you're living a non-monogamous lifestyle. I mean, this is a very person first, so you don't have to answer. But you didn't feel like the divorce made you lose faith in marriage? No, I did pretty good at like I think I did pretty good at handling the divorce, and like I did a lot of work to like really like it was her and like not all women or people. Like that was a decision she made and is not reflective of other people. Yeah, I was in like therapy for like a year and a half, and like almost every session was fully focused on that. And like I will say the hardest part about divorce was like I'm very much a type A person, at least. Okay, maybe I'm not as organized as I should be, but like I'm a very like I need goals. I like working. I like working towards like a future and like growing. So like I've always been ambitious and like had, like 5-year, 10-year plans, and then like having your vision of the future ripped away from you in like 5 minutes and creating just like this insane amount of uncertainty. That was the uncertainty about like how my life was going to go and change was like without a doubt the hardest part. Um, I was told a really good quote that I thought about often when I was going through that, and it was something along the lines of the amount of uncertainty that you can comfortably handle is directly proportionate with your quality of life. And like I just tried to like embrace the uncertainty and be okay with not knowing where the next couple of years of my life were going. So that was the hardest part. But yes, W sister as well. Was it absolutely over for you when she told you, or did you want to try and fix it? So Dude, the moment that I was actually talking with my sister about this weekend. I was up in the mountains with her, but like the moment she told me, it's like that moment will be seared into my brain forever. Um, I was like, I lived in like a condo, and our kitchen could see down a hallway into a bathroom. And I was like making lunch in the kitchen, and I could see her in the bathroom, and like she was just like leaned over the sink and like visibly upset. And I was just like, what's wrong, right? And then she like turned and she started sobbing, and she walked out, and she was just like, I cheated on you. I was like, what? And then she's like, I cheated on you. And she basically broke it all down. And like, I was shell shocked at this point. Like, I was like, we had been married for less than a year. There's like a whole bunch of, I'll save all the details, but I basically I like went into fight or flight mode, right? I like immediately just like went and I packed a bag. I got Winnie's stuff together. I got like a duffel bag for a week of stuff in my car. I've got a week worth of stuff for Winnie in the car. And then I can't believe I still look back and be like, how did I handle this so maturely? But like, I looked at her and I was like, I hugged her and I said, get help, go to therapy, talk to your parents. I'm leaving to go stay with my parents. And I got in the car and I drove to Pennsylvania with my dog. And then I made her basically move out over that week. And it was basically, I spent like a year figuring out if I wanted to try to make it work. And then ultimately ended up deciding that like I wouldn't be happy trying to make it work. So bruh, a sorority sister sounds like a fancy tech term, but no, it's just a typo, or maybe a secret site. Yeah. Oh, a student intervening goog. Who flirted first? You or Justine? Probably Justine. Justine had like a crush on me. Justine and I went to the same college, but we weren't there at the same time because I'm 4 years older than her. But she knew me through, like, we had been at the same parties and I didn't know it. And she always had like this crush on me, and I never ever knew it. Because like I would come back, I would like visit my sister at college and like go to her parties and stuff. Student any gung. I don't know how to say that EINI part. I'm such a support person. I instantly always try to fix it no matter if I cheated or was cheated on. You were the sister's cool older brother, except you're a nerd. Goddamn right, Ryan. Well, that's my marriage story that I've told bits of before, and I'm surprised. I feel like there's a handful of people at work that know that. I'm surprised you didn't know that, Anders. Can you file a ticket? You're in the queue behind domains not syncing. Oh yeah, the video. All right, we'll watch the video quick before I get myself in the zone for writing code. Where is that? Did I open that in another tab? Here, I can get it over here. Okay, hold on. I hate changing the volume in frickin' OBS. Kraut, that would be too smart. Oh my god. Oh, we have an ad. I'll pause until the ad's over. Engine X. I met somebody recently that said Engine X, pronounced it like, how did they say it? It was the strangest thing, and I didn't understand what they said Nginx. I was like, what? Excuse me? Nginx? No, it's Engine X. You thought it was Nginx? I think my teacher said it like that. It's so weird. Listen, Nginx is still more acceptable than saying JOT for JWT. If you say JOT, just like I have like fuck off if you say JOT. What? Hold on. Studenten en van Vonningung. Yason. Alright, ad's over. The new Vercel keynote is coming out. That's hilarious. Did you? 3 technologies: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Hmm? Facts. Hmm? I just noticed that he has the freaking the game there as work to watch while he's working. That is the funniest part of this video. That's hilarious. Let me see if I can grab. Where was it? It was like, no, it had to be Vercel keynote. Here we go. I'll post that in our memes channel. God damn it, Anders. I just saw your DM. God damn it. Oh, you fucking would. All right, I'll finish the last thing. Let me post the meme quick. That's so funny. All right, let me jump to the end here. Oh, I wish the caption was all in one. That's so funny. I had a tweet the other day that I found an AI clip of. The shareholder value thing made me think of this. I thought this was the funniest thing I've ever heard right here, chat. My greatest fear in life. I would be devastated if I look back on my life and I realized they didn't provide enough shareholder value. It's so funny. It's so funny, chat. That's fair. Okay, let's actually code. Now that we've watched YouTube, listened to my life story, and talked about hunting and bears. I already closed it. I can't clip it because I want it. If I clipped it, I'd want to do like, I wish it had like all on the same screen. Like, did you migrate off of AWS and onto Vercel? But it's like AWS and then Vercel. It's the second part, so it's not as good. All right, let me fix the volume before I turn on music again, because I'm not going to listen to Kraut and do the smart thing he suggested to do by making two audio sources, because that would be just way too smart. Oh, meh. I'm too lazy. All right, so we have some tests. Let's, how do I want to do this? Let's see if I can open that. And I don't remember my keybinds to make this smaller, so we're just gonna use the mouse because I'm lazy. We can actually close. No, we'll keep that there. Bun, run test. I think I'm getting sick. No bueno, chat. Okay, I need to put this in watch mode. I don't know why I can't get this running in watch. Is that really gonna put it in watch mode? Test watch does not do that. Vitest command for watch mode. -w. Okay, so we've got some failing tests. I want to start with the one test that's failing is fails to decode. No, it's up here. Where was it? To the 255 byte in the question. So let's start with that test. So if we, what is the keybind I have for this? Oh, that wasn't it. Okay, so in here, our test, let's go ahead and close that describe block and we'll say only. That will limit our test to there. And then the test we want to fix is labeled the 255. Yeah, right here. That should get us down. Why is it still running so many tests? Leave it alone. Why does that? I don't think that works. That feels like that might be a bug in EffectTS. What is my toggle context? Tree sitter context is X. No, that should be, that's not working because there should be another describe, right? It should be, the context should be that. I'll have to fix tree sitter context. I don't know what's going on there. Whatever. It's at least in watch mode here. 5 labels of 63 A's each. Okay. So to fix that, it's in our question. QName is actually labels, right? That's fine. We should probably keep a running. We'll do QName size plus equal value. And we'll come down here. Yeah, I get it. What is this? A byte array, uint8. We get the length. It would be value.length. And then we'll do a check here where it's if QName size is greater than 255, we'll say QName must not exceed 255 bytes. Say QName exceeded maximum size of 255 bytes. So that should make our other test pass now, right? Enforce a 200 byte name limit. It's still failing. Why, chat? Byte length. This is the worst sounding thing, but it kind of works for my brain. All right, let's go comment out the other tests because only's not working. Being able to work through this song feels like a sign of ADHD. Well, you know, if the shoe fits. Why isn't it logging? Encode. Oh, bro, it's testing the encode. No wonder this isn't working when encoding. Let's copy that and we'll make another test. Encode. We'll take this and we'll ask Claude to do some work for us. We'll come down here and we'll be like, hey, Claude, my homie in Christ. Plan on how to test the 255 key name limit when decoding. Opposite of this test. What up, Ethan? You're training your replacement. Wait, did you accept a new job, Ethan? Or you're just saying that you're training a crack dev? I got a GitHub issue that gets assigned to Copilot. It creates a PR, another PR. Well, you know the deal. I'm happy to refer you whenever you're ready. Byteline 260. This perfectly exposes the bug. Damn, dude. Dude, I've been trying to get you to join Vercel for like a year. No. Alright, you're done, Claude. You're done. You're done. Did it just delete a whole section? It did. Why would it do that? Alright, I'm just gonna copy this test. Yoink. And then we're gonna go ahead and undo. And now we should be okay here. Yeah. And we'll just paste in that other test. And then we can get rid of that. And we can come here and we can do this. And now we have a, let's write all. And quit that. And get our chest open. All right, byte length is 260, QName size is 260. That should be failing. So let's look at the test. And we'll comment this one out for now, because I want to make sure our, wait, what? When encoding, did I accidentally copy the same twice? Yeah, I did. Okay. So we do see it failing. Oh wait, we're still back on encoding. I'm dumb. We want to work on decoding. Okay, that passed. So that's doing the right thing. Great. So then let's go back to this one and we'll update our encoding. Where's the encode? We can get rid of this. We probably want to copy this logic right here to our resource record name parsing while I'm thinking about it. That's gonna go right here. That'll just be name size. And this will be label. We should probably change that in the other one as well to be consistent. And let's add some state there. We'll say name size equals 0. And then we'll go back up to question. In here, and rather than using value, that should be label.
Can I get some support?
What?
Can I get some support?
What happened?
3 out of 4 just ran through shit.
Okay. I'll be right back, chat.
Functions describe the world.
All right, chat, we're back. Okay, so now we have to fix the encoding. So we're gonna have const name size equals 0. And we'll come down here, actually paste that. There we go. And we have to do the same thing for resource record when we encode. So down here, we want to basically do the same thing. Label length. And then we need a let name size equals 0.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
That's a dumb idea, right?
You didn't hear me. I said this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's the worst idea ever. I'm just not gonna say anything.
You can write effect with cluster. Add the, make sure the resource record tests have coverage over encoding/decoding with the 255 limit. Listen, I would happily write F#. Don't tempt me with a good time.
Functions describe the world.
Hypothetically, how would I apply with the referral? DM me, and I will refer you. I would love to write OCaml at Vercel, but it would be an irresponsible decision at the moment until the toolchain figures itself out a little bit more. No. Just use the exact same test. The exact same style test as question for the name. Yeah. What would not be a irresponsible decision, Mr. Winchester, using Elixir? Once Elixir's type system is completely shipped and stable and sound, I would be open to pitching Elixir. Why? I don't want to watch that. I don't want that. This is ridiculous. I suspect that this was requested by Anders. No, by Kraut. Wow. Because I want to add a DNS client to the Effect platform package, Slow Deluxe. And I work on domains and DNS at Vercel, so it's relevant to my day job a bit. I don't know. I've seen enough like LASIK horror stories that my vision is close enough to being like I don't have that bad a vision.
He doesn't, and it's bullshit.
What's up?
Do you have off today?
Ish.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna use it to get work done without Anders distracting me.
Isn't Anders in a different time zone?
What?
Isn't Anders like in a different time zone? How does he distract you?
Ask him that. It's a great question.
Anders, don't you log off at 5 your time? What are you doing? Oh, God, wait.
Evo ICL is a different one. I don't know. My glasses are like I don't have that bad a vision. Like I can function fine without my glasses. I just wear them because it helps a little bit.
I thought I said log off. Sorry.
Time zones are an illusion, bad cop, and everyone should just standardize the UTC, and there should be no time zones.
Well, then I'd still be confused about what time.
Justin, do you prefer me with or without glasses?
I think without.
Damn. You don't love me.
What does that mean? Why do you have a curly dog? That's Belka.
We watch Belka.
Belka. Come here. She is our neighbor's dog. I am that tall. I'm so tall.
Alright, resource record.
I do call Dylan a short king.
It's okay, I am short.
Do you know that there's a short king week? It's the week of, what is it? May, like, 4th to the 10th or something like that. To celebrate short kings because 5'5". Anders, you wouldn't get it because it's days.
I'm 5'10".
AI, is there a short king week? Every week is short king
Functions
week.
describe the world.
Oh, Dylan.
What? 5'10" is short, not gonna lie. Ryan said 5'10" is not short. Ryan, are you also 5'10"?
This is funny.
Damn, bad cops coming at you.
So 5'10" is considered short depending on the country, if you're looking up average. In America, that is average. It's actually a little above average.
Nice. I'm above average, guys. It's the first time in my life.
I'm like 5'5". It's okay. I'm also tall, so I feel like that makes you look
You're
short.
5'7"?
Yeah, that's tall for a woman.
Five, 10.75. Gotta one up me.
Weird pair programming, but nice.
Yeah, you could keep rubbing my shoulders. That would feel good.
No.
As you're here making fun of my height.
I like Dylan the way he is. I do not want him to wear stilts.
All right, so we need to add that constraint there. What are we listening to?
I'm pretty sure there's a Short King anthem on Spotify if anyone wants to play that. We're all the same height lying down.
All right.
This is so funny.
We need to go down to resource records.
Oh.
And we need to...
Have you played the Hoochie Daddy song for chat yet?
Probably. It's probably come up.
Yay.
Our data.
Oh god.
So we need to do if our data dot buffer dot byte length does not equal RD length, and then we have to return an error here. This would be, we should pass in the uint ADA right here. Move a little left with your right. Yeah, pressure right there. Oh my god, that feels so good. EffectTS is like a standard library for TypeScript. That's the way I like to describe it. Our data Length did not match RD length. Expected RD length.
I'm gonna go.
Received.
I'm gonna go.
Why? Justine's like God right now, watching everyone. Justine, would you date Dylan if he looked 16?
I feel like no, I'd be in jail. I should be in jail if that was true.
Data dot byte length. Oh, that's available just on there.
Sorry, I also zoned out. I'm not awake yet. Are you gonna stay? You're gonna stay? She's right behind you. She's like, it's my turn to watch over chat.
Ryan Winchester looks 20. Dylan looks 27, to be honest. I'll take that.
Yeah. Wait, how old do I look? Now I'm stressed.
How old does Justine look, chat?
Remember that one time you got carded and I didn't?
Dylan is 22, by the way. He's on the Forbes 30 under 30. Oh God, don't put that evil on me, bad cop. Ethan said you look 24. Wait, Dylan, based on my Slack, how old do you think I am? I'm gonna guess.
Wait, can I guess?
I'm gonna guess 20 or 21.
Can I guess? Pull up Slack, I want to see.
I did that without looking. I was going off memory. I was 20, just turned.
Oh, well, now I
Mic
can't
drop.
look. Good job, Dylan. I might come hang out in here and read a book.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, we got everything passing there. Let's go back to the tests and oh my God, here we go. All right, so now we want to test resource enforce 225 byte limit when decoding. Add 5 labels of 50 bytes each. Label length, fill with different characters. It doesn't add the +1. That's the dumbest. Add a 6th and it should fail. And it should really Yeah, there we go. That would... Why didn't we just use the same test? Whatever. Damn it. Offset is outside the bounds of data view. Fails to decode truncated resource rate. Fails to decode truncated resource record. All right. Truncate. Range error. Okay, so we need to... Data views can throw, which I did not know. That makes things annoying. How do we want to try to do this? Thank you, Federico. All right, so let's const is that, and this needs to return a parse result dot fail, or I guess it just needs a new parse result dot type, and we'll pass the AST. We'll pass the data view, I guess, and we'll say it's outside the bounds. I'm just gonna say malformed. Malformed input. I mean, I guess we could probably just use error from is error, yeah, is error cause. We'll do cause.message. Otherwise, we'll just say malformed input. And we'll make that that'll be byte. Do I have to yield this? Byte result. And we'll say if byte result, actually we can do either dot is, I always mix up left and right. I think left is the success and right is the, I never remember this. Right is correct, okay. Right result. Equals byte result dot right. New parse result dot fail. There we go. What is happening here? My tests are like dead. There we go. Fails to decode truncated resource record. Oh yeah, we probably have to do this. We should write a data view module. I'm gonna go get a water quick. Here, watch out, Winnie. Cheers, stream. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you, Star. How was your stream?
Functions describe the world.
What were you guys working on? Let's write a. We probably need a function get uint8, and this is going to take a data view, which is a data view, and it's going to return a parse result dot parse result. What does it actually return? Where is that? Parse result.try. You return a parse. You return an either. All right, we'll take that. We'll do that, and then we'll do basically that. So we don't have to repeat code everywhere. And that's a number. AST is a schema AST.AST. And then we'll just return this. And then we'll do the same thing here. And we're going to do this for basically all of these. This will be a uint16. Get uint16. And little endian will be false. And then we want uint32. And this will be 32. And then we're just gonna have Claude go update this because I'm lazy. Update all instances of data view.get uint star to use our helper functions that return an either. I wonder if we should just make this a generator. And then we can yield it. No, I wouldn't be able to yield it, huh? Because I'd still need to wrap it in a fail. Before I opened Claude, I was like, could I do this with a macro? And then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna let Claude do it. User that return an either. You will also have to update code to check whether it is a right or a left and return or pull out the value. Create a plan to implement this functionality. Actually, you only have to make changes in @index. See how good this thing does. Yeah, it's really nice. Cloud Code is super dope. Rip. Dude, that's a bummer. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Lindsay is the GOAT, for real, for real. I love working for Lindsay. Lindsay is the VP of engineering at Vercel. And he was my previous manager. I want to try something. Spin up a sub agent for each of the header, question, and resource record. Limit each to only touching its respective code to make the changes. Make sure, yeah, well, see you, Buffy. Let's see how this does. Let's get some concurrency going here, chat. Some true agentic workflows. Cloud Code is sick. I am coming around. So obviously work pays for my Claude Max subscription, but I'm coming around to thinking that the $100 a month is probably actually worth it. For sure, saw people on executing APIs. How would you Max isn't based off of like usage billing. It's a flat $100. So like you don't like $100 is the most you'll spend. The way Max works is you get a bucket of usage that refreshes every 5 hours, and it's like really hard to hit that usage. Well, maybe not for some people, but like it's really hard for me to hit that usage, and I use it pretty heavily. Maybe. I don't know. It's certainly, I know that I would easily be over $100 a month if I just used like API calls. Like, yeah, it's like insanely well worth the cost. Like, I'd probably rack up like over $100 a day on just normal usage-based pricing. All right, let's see the changes it made here. Why did we get a chunk here? What are we listening to? I'm skipping this. Let's go. All right. Okay, that makes sense. Nice. Nice. Good job there. I wonder if can data view dot set uint throw. I'm the benevolent dictator. All right, I think because we're controlling this data, I feel better about that. All right. I think we're looking pretty good here, chat. I'm gonna give Claude the link to the RF-35 spec and given for what we have implemented so far, I'm gonna have it analyze if we're missing any test coverage. Oh, bright. It's too bright. Whoops. What's the line count from cursor plugin called, or is it part of emotions? Wait, what? Oh, this is MVim, never mind. Oh, yeah. All right, so analyze our tests in at and our implementation in at index for RF-1035, which you can read here. for what we have implemented so far, ultrathink. I hate that you have to specify that. Ultrathink about any missing edge cases, missing test and or edge cases. If there are missing tests and edge cases, create a plan to implement the missing test coverage using effect, fast check, and vitest as our existing tests do. Respond only in Comic Sans. I should. Okay, Kraut, you're right. This is okay. I need to find a way to get the hot dog. Dude, that would be so funny, Bad Cop. Hot dog prompt injection. RFC-1035 is basically the DNS spec. I have the Claude Max subscription, Slow Deluxe, and it's covered by work, which is $100 a month. But it's I have a bucket of usage that refreshes every 5 hours, and it's very, very hard to hit that. At least the way I use AI, it's hard for me to hit the bucket of usage. So it's just $100 flat a month. What's up, Max? Maxwell. That was weird. I called you Max. Z-Field opcode. Yep, that looks good. Question edge cases. Major gaps. Name compression. Yeah, I know we're missing name compression right now. All right, so one header, question hands, edge cases, boundary tests, create name compression arbitraries with fast check detection, add mixed compression, uncompression tests, binary protocol, enhanced arbitraries. Skip phase 4. No. So we want to say no, skip phase 4. And for phase 5, skip phase 4, but implement the rest. Technically right now we're building it. What we have built is a DNS packet parser. We still have a couple things like compression and decompression to write, but the goal is to merge this into eventually get it cleaned up, and get it merged into Effects platform package, and then I want to use a good effect DNS client, and that's like the goal here, is to build an effect-based DNS client. And I decided to write the parsing from scratch because the Node client, or the Node standard library DNS stuff, isn't as flexible as I want it to be, and there's some foot guns there, so we decided to do it ourselves. All right. Oh, Maxwell, I think I found a bug with EffectTS, where if I had effect, or if I had it.effect.only, it wasn't respecting the only, and it was still running everything within the describe block. This is just Claude code, daily code. Yeah, I can probably after this gets done writing tests here. Here, we're gonna parallelize this. Parallelize the remaining phases. With subagents. If one subagent needs to touch code another is working on, use a mechanism to pass it the work. See if we can figure this out. Doesn't feel like it's parallelizing. Domains is going well. You should have a feature flag, Josh, that you can see the new search by page. That we've been cooking on. We don't have the search result design in yet, but we should have streaming and stuff built in. You only launched one subagent. Launch a subagent per phase and orchestrate them so they don't touch the same code. If they need to touch another section, it should report that work to you or a work orchestrator agent to assign the changes to the agent that owns that section / phase. I'm trying to also, part of this is also learning how to use subagents properly. Like this, certainly I could have just done it serially and it would have been fine. Seems like it's not doing what I expected it to do here. Justine chose the color for the walls. Architect.
What?
Bro. Brother, you're still not doing what I told you to do. I think you only launched one sub agent. Launch multiple sub agents / Claude code instances where there is a There we go. I'm curious to see how this comes out. We also need to think about how we're going to implement compression. Compression is going to be interesting to figure out. We already have the implementation for reading compression. Like we can decompress a name, but we haven't figured out how to write the compression, like actually encode the compression. We probably also need to worry about a DOS attack here where you could get in like a infinite loop potentially. I gotta think about what that would look like. Could you create a loop here? I might already have my implementation, I think, might already protect against a DOS attack there. But how do you end up writing the compression correctly? It's an interesting problem. gonna be hard, I think. All right, we've got one phase done. What is that rumbling? I think it's probably Winnie chewing on a bone. No, it's what they call a Benabone. It's like Google Benabone. One of these things. Oh, that's a good one. I might have to crib that. All right, we've got we got almost all the phases done. Weird, our dog Winnie loves Benabones too. Nice. That's a pretty good idea. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not a serious person, bad cop. But what are you doing? Just Oh my god. If that's true, that's insane. Justine, is this true?
What?
Or is this a troll thing? Robert Kubica reveals the secret behind Ferrari's Le Mans win. We asked the F1 team some tips and we did the exact opposite.
That's it. It's probably a real quote. Wait, who's it from? Is that F1 Trolls? Look at the account still.
Why are you liking my tweet? You're so live. My AI is fixing tests. I actually have no idea what it's doing right now because it's taking forever. 391 editions. Ryan, I got a preview of what you just sent me, and I'm not going to open it. I'm not going to give you the joy you're seeking. Bad Cop, did you subtweet Pedro from Raycast? I can't believe you do that. Oh wait, that's a Windows lag. Oh my god, I thought that was a MacBook. I'm so dumb. Bro, look, he liked and didn't comment. Classic. I don't think you're gonna get it. All right, I want to make sure this bot's not updating. I want to make sure it's not updating my actual implementation. Good, it's not. All right. What are you doing, brother? Give me a status update and then finish the last task yourself. All right, so we added some tests here. Added 6 tests to question, added 8 tests to resource record. What do we add? Added 25 new tests to the binary protocol robustness. Covers buffer, underrun and overrun, partial parsing, DNS, malformed data, data view boundaries. All new tests passing. I'm totally this strict with my direct reports. I need updates every 2 minutes for my team. Working on domains is Tough gig, tell you what. While we're waiting, I want to look into some stuff with effect workflows. I want to look at what it would take to write a DynamoDB storage engine, and I also want to see if I could back effect workflow with SQS rather than with effect cluster. It's true, Jimmy. I could do that. Packages, workflow. There should be an interface in here for workflow engine. Maybe we wouldn't necessarily use a queue here. Well, we could make a queue per activity, technically. We have to deal with orchestrating waking up and stuff. We could back it with Dynamo and like TTL stuff. Like, that's not the worst idea. Maxwell, are you still in chat? I have no idea what this bot is doing, but it's kind of worrying me. It's not my money. All right. So we're going to clear this. Actually, we're going to compact. Really, I should have just cleared. It's fine. 216, 26.1. Okay, good. None of them actually touched the implementation, which is good. I don't trust that they wrote tests that... I don't actually trust that it wrote tests that made all tests pass in... validates memory efficiency with large R data. Maintains performance with various sized. Sure. Performance scale testing. Handles a large batch of realization questions efficiently. Expect a high success rate for realistic data. No. This should be 1. This is why you got to check the work. 2 equal 1. All right. It's consistently maintained. Yeah, that's fine. That's a good test. TTL boundaries are preserved. That looks good. All class values round trip correctly. That's a good test. Extended Q-type. Comprehensive property testing. All DNS types. Great. Handles compression pointer patterns gracefully. This feels wrong. Negative testing. All right, what'd you just say here? All right, we're just gonna clear. And the next thing we're gonna do is please analyze the tests in @test. We'll say they were written by a junior dev, and I'm worried they wrote the tests to pass rather than find bugs in our implementation of RFC-1035 in @index. Please review the tests with the scrutiny of a principal engineer and highlight any tests that are creating a false sense of safety or that are implemented poorly Let's see what it says. Because I'm almost positive some of this is going to be garbage. Like this rejects malformed labels and questions. That's a good test. Rejects invalid TTL values, 32-bit with high bit set. That's a good test. I don't buy handles compression pointer patterns. Creates a question buffer with compression pointer. I don't think that this is a test. Like, this seems bad. All right, here we go. Critical issues found. Knew it. Header test failed to test actual RFC compliance. No test for invalid opcode or code. That should be rejected. Arbitrary creates false positives. All right. Name compression not tested. Okay, let's tell it. We're going to say no. Remove any tests around compression as they aren't implemented, as compression is not implemented yet, comma, but implement the rest of your recommendations. Please note that you do not need to have you do not need to make sure that tests are passing. I will only that the tests are correct. I will update the implementation to make tests pass. Do not touch or edit the implementation in @index. This is not a plugin. Who asked that? Quix. It is Claude code in a separate terminal pane. All right, I'm gonna go take a leak quick. I'll be right back, chat, while this thing works. All right, we're back. Nice. It said, your code is garbage. I think you will. You probably should not do that. I'll make that recommendation confidently. Winnie. All right. Let's see where we're at here. We have a single type error. There we go. All right, we're gonna do this one more time, where we're gonna do the same thing, where we'll clear. And we can go here, and we can do, isn't that Control E? Control E. Do not worry about testing compression or the parts of the spec that aren't implemented in @index. The spec is here. Let's go grab the spec to give it, and we'll do one more code review here, and then we'll start fixing tests again. RFC, grab that, move that over, give it that, go, bada bing, bada boom. Baxter, no barks, buddy. Okay. Um, create a plan to correct these concerns. Again, we can skip tests for compression and the parts of the spec I haven't implemented yet. Yep, 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 yep. 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 Yeet. Let's go. We'll eventually go find a test suite, like an official test suite for the spec. Once we have a like actual interface for the DNS client created, and then we'll run fuzz testing against a official test suite. Brother, do not touch the implementation in @index. Undo any changes you've made. Only update the test suite. Failing tests are okay as long as they are correctly testing RFC compliant behavior. I want to do the hard work. I'm being very intentional about I want to be the one to implement the spec. No, this is Claude code, even. Claude code. It doesn't need to run the test. Should fail. Failing tests are okay and expected. Do not write tests that should fail but pass, or that should pass, or I guess e.g. No, you're an idiot. Do not make them pass. Write them as failing tests for me to do TDD against. Don't be a bot. Write tests against the spec as I asked, and I will fix my impl to get them passing. I know, I'm about to start calling this bot an idiot. There we go. Now it's doing the right thing. Good God. You're absolutely right. Great. The last thing I want to do is, given the test suite in @test and the implementation in @index for RFC-1035 let's grab this. What tests would you expect to pass? And what tests would you expect to fail? Do not run the tests. Just analyze the tests against the imple. This is Claude Code. Oh my God, what? Okay, the test expect. Okay. All right, so we've got a list of tests. Now run the tests and report back if you were correct. Does the test need fixed, or is the test correctly running? Okay, great. Simple. Great. Okay, so we've got a good running test suite now I feel good about. Let's look at this guy here. We've got some nice new arbitraries, which arbitraries are mock data generators. So this is basically saying we're going to generate a random DNS label, which a DNS label is like the part of a domain. So like dev.api.vercel.com. Dev is a label, API is a label, vercel is a label, and com is a label. And this entire thing is a name. So we can generate arbitrary labels that are spec compliant. We can validate full names. This looks good. Fully quad, yep, exactly. We can generate a arbitrary header. That looks good. Nice. These are nice arbitraries here. Why does updating a record take so damn long? Because DNS caches at multiple layers. So your device you're on has its own operating system level cache for DNS records, which the TTL field on your records determines how long it lives in the cache, right? So cached at the OS level, it's cached. There's a cache in your browser. There's a cache on the like root servers. There's a cache on the TLD name servers, and then there's caching at your name server level, and then there could be extra caching in the implementation layer depending on your DNS provider. So like for a record to fully update for you and everyone, it's it'll be, you have to get full propagation, as long as every cache is compliant with the spec, right? Which isn't always true. Whatever the TTL is from the moment you update the record, that TTL is what should be the expiration. And there's no way to enforce invalidation globally. Like, that just doesn't work. You can like clear your browser and OS level caches to get fresh records, but that's about it. Yeah, Federico, I'll push this here in a second. Sweet. All right, let me commit this. RFC compliant test git push. The repo is right here.
Winnie. Winnie.
What?
Winnie. Hey. Winnie, look. Look. Dylan. Dylan.
What?
What do you call Winnie?
Winnie, stop looking.
She's obsessively licking the carpet.
Hey, ma'am. Relax. Relax. Get your puppy. Here.
Did you just hit her in the face?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, chat. I'm gonna wrap up for the day. We'll come back tomorrow and we will work on fixing those tests and keep working our way towards implementing compression. Compression is gonna be the hard part. Let's find somebody to raid. Yeah, I committed. Oh, we're raiding Maxwell, of course. Effect core team member. All right, y'all. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate y'all. Go show Maxwell some love.